Hey guys, Colin Bennett coming to you here today all the way from Munich, Germany, and just wanted to shoot a video while I'm kind of pretty fired up, pretty energetic, annoying my girlfriend, running around. I'm actually, if you've been watching my videos, I've actually been over here in Germany for a while. If you hear my accent, I'm an Aussie. Can't really mistake that accent anywhere in the world, I don't think, but actually moving around a little bit to keep warm, I guess. But so I just wanted to shoot this video today because I didn't know a lot of this stuff before and that I do now, and I wanted to talk to you about the importance of residual income, or however you pronounce it. It's, anyway, what it's about is a lot of people don't really know this, and to kind of explain it you have to go back a while in time, because for me, I grew up on a farm in Australia, actually, North Queensland, Australia. If you've heard my story before, about 4 or 5 years ago, I actually left that environment. What happened was, I grew up on a farm. It's actually a ranch. If you're in the US, you'll call it a ranch, and in Australia, you don't say ranch, you say cattle station. So it's a cattle station. I just say farm to make it easier because people just call it farms anyway, even though I don't know anything about cropping, so all I know about is cows and a little bit about sheep. Not that much. If you've heard about Australians and sheep, New Zealanders and sheep, just keep those ideas to yourself. It's more New Zealand than Australia. That's all I've got to say on that topic. So, grew up on a farm, didn't really I didn't really know what I wanted to do. I went away to boarding school. It didn't really help me work out what I wanted to do in my life. And the whole point of this story is that I worked out what I wanted to do in life when I was about, 25. And it took me coming halfway around the world and over a year living away from Australia to realise what my goal in life was. And my goal in life now has been absolutely clear for the last couple of years, is to become an ultimate businessman, investor, teach people, become knowledgeable, teach people my knowledge, and just help people run their businesses. So, taking you back, I went away to boarding school, and I'm a big fan of Rich Dad's books. Robert Kiyosaki, Rich Dad, Poor Dad. He talks about how you don't learn what you should learn at school anymore if you want to become financially free, because the whole idea, the baby boomer idea of going to school, get good grades, go to uni, get good grades, get a good job, stick with that for 35 years, can kind of possibly, a lot of the time it does give you financial freedom by the time you're about nearly 70. You know what I mean? So it's about that kind of thing is okay. A lot of people like doing that. It's kind of a safe way to live. Even if you get fired from your job, you probably will find another job, especially in Australia. You're not too bad off. But what's happened is, because we're in the information age now, people realise they can build a lot more wealth than that by investing and owning businesses and stuff like that, and not just sitting around in a job and listening to a boss, which for me has never been something, because I grew up with a family business, and even though it struggled, my dad has always been his own boss, and he works his own hours. Although he works long being a farmer, he can do whatever he wants. He can go away whenever he wants. He can go to business meetings. He can mix it up and live an exciting lifestyle. He doesn't just go to a job, be bored or whatever. He's doing his passion. He's doing everything. So, you're probably wondering about how this leads on to residual income. Well, what it is a lot of people don't know, unless you've possibly read a Robert Kiyosaki book, which is kind of, it's probably talked about a little bit too much. People kind of generalise it a lot. But basically, it's income that you get that you don't physically work for. And, until you get that, you're going to struggle, making heaps of money, or just being financially free, or understanding any sort of finance. So, he's got his 4 quadrants. And he talks about the people that just work, and then he's got the people that own small businesses, and then people that own massive businesses, and then you got the investors who own parts of other businesses and they don't actually manage businesses. So, what I studied at uni was actually it was entrepreneurship. So it wasn't business management. It's not like I go in and get excited about managing someone else's business. What I get excited about is being my own person and living my own life. So residual income, as Rich Dad puts it, is something you don't actually physical work for every day. So he's got passive and portfolio income, which is, they're both residual, but they're a little bit different. What he's got a lot of is, say, passive income, which is purely passive. He does zero work to get it. Is, say, when one of his books is sold, he gets a royalty from that. He doesn't even publish his own books, he just sells the royalties. And he doesn't actually physically do that himself, he pays someone to do it. So he's getting money when all these other people are working for him. And the good thing about it is that he provides a good product, he's teaching people right, and he's actually helping community. So that's what the ultimate goal is of an entrepreneur. And if you take that to my business, I actually blog, shoot videos. I've got a system available. If you check it out below this video, actually, it can help you possibly, build. It can, if you put the work in, it gives you a really good chance of building your business online, or something like that. There's so many different tools it's got, so many different ways it can help you. It's got good mentors. It's got all this stuff. All this good training, good tools that you can use to do sort of whatever you want to do with them. Like, if your whole goal in life is to blog about tennis players and you want everyone to watch your blog, you can go in, build a blog, learn how to promote it, get heaps of traffic to it, and then goals done. You can learn all this stuff with the system that I've actually got below this video. But, so back to residual income, you've got what Rich Dad did. Heaps of people do that. Heaps of people write a good book, get passive income from stuff like that. Other ways are, possibly owning shares and getting dividends from that. That's cash flow. I'm a cash flow guy. I'm not really, I'm not into flipping things. I hate people getting excited and really hyping these deals up that a lot of the times they fail. There's so much risk involved, as we saw with the housing market in the US, with hyping stuff up and actually trying to buy a house and then hoping that it'll go up in value so you can sell it later on sometime. And there's only actually a 33% chance of that happening. It could possibly not do anything in value. It could possibly decrease in value. Or it could possibly go up. So that's 1/3 of a chance of that actually happening. So, all that kind of thing I'm not interested in. I'm actually interested in cash flow. But if you're interested in flipping houses, that's okay. I just don't understand it. Not into anything like that at all. But, so there's other ways of residual income. Obviously, if you own a house and you get rent, that's, it's sort of portfolio income. You might have to work for that. Unless, it's quite a good deal and you have a real estate guy working for you. Businessmen, investors always work in teams. They've got people that are more clever than them. Some guys say, oh, why have you got an accountant? Obviously, I've got quite a lot of work to do when it comes to tax return, but my accountant's a lot more clever than I, and I can ring her up whenever I want and ask her about, tax laws, stuff like this. Stuff that I'm never going to be a fully 100% expert in, but I can use teams like that. So I've got a good accountant, I've got a great lawyer, I've got a couple of business partners that, teach me how they do things. All that sort of thing is helping build business. So basically the whole aim of this video is to say, if you're worried about losing a job, if you're worried about not being able to retire, if you want to live a good lifestyle that you want to live right now, like I try to do, I just travel around the world whenever I want. I was in the US a few weeks ago. Last year I was in South Africa. Been to Asia a little bit. Not a massive fan of some areas of Asia. Wouldn't mind to go to Vietnam, possibly India, China, stuff like that. But yeah, I've been around Australia too, and something that I thought I'd never do so young. And I just did that. I started taking action. So residual income is going to help you be financially free if that's what you want to be, and also be more financially stable. If you've got a couple of grand residual income coming into your bank account and you lose your job, are you going to be as stressed about getting another job? Are you going to be so desperate about not having, maybe your savings account isn't exactly as high as what it should be? I'm a fan of having a certain amount of savings in your bank. It doesn't have to be a massive amount, but it has to be a certain buffer, as someone like Warren Buffett would call a margin of safety. Because obviously too much savings doesn't work that well, because you're not getting that much return on it, depending on where you live. Even in Australia now, it's not that much of a return compared to inflation and stuff like that. So I'm just want to give you an idea about residual income's actually out there. A lot of people have actually got it. They don't realise it. Like, do you own possibly a few shares? Maybe you work for a bank. They've sold you something or given you shares as a Christmas bonus or something. You actually get a dividend from that. You do nothing for it. Possibly those shares went up in value, and you sold them, something like that. All these sort of things, if you can really build a massive amount of residual income, that's how you get really wealthy. A guy like the 4-Hour Workweek author, Tim Ferriss, he talks about how, he really lives this lifestyle where you can just travel around, do whatever you want to a certain extent, and you've only got to do a little things, just touch base, keep your team operating, keep your business running. He lives off revenues, royalties from whenever someone sells his book. So I just want to keep this video a bit short for you today. I hope you really got something from it, because I really say that you need residual income right now, and the sooner you get it, the better. There's a lot of economies struggling in the world. Australia at the moment is quite strong, but it's also going through a lot of changes. And there's also the question of, if you live in such a rich country like Australia, how come not everyone's rich? And a lot of people don't, respect money, pay any attention to it, but that means that, it doesn't give them any respect back. So if you sit around and say, oh, I want to be rich, and do absolutely nothing, learn nothing about business or investment, I don't really respect, what effort you're putting in. So there's a few things you've got to realise. Some people don't realise how much I actually work, how much effort I put into my business, and how much I like to, spread the word, and just the knowledge that I've built up over the years of, things that can work for you. I'm not saying that if you go and write one book, it's going to be a massive success, and, you're going to be rich for the rest of your life. It's going to take work. You're going to have to put work in. But, so that's important of residual income, and I really think that you should do it and get in and just start making your life better. So that's it for me today, and I will look forward to seeing you.